In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. Greeting, guys. It is me here with a message of the kingdom of heaven. Guys, today I want us to speak about, guys, when you look at the world, guys, we have learned so much. Guys, we've learned so much, As I've always said, guys, and I'm going to say it again, two people simply have sex and we pop up here on earth. We pop up, we don't even ask to come here, but we pop up here. And guys, whatever our elders teach us, we take as right. Whatever our teachers we take as right. Whatever the leaders in the community, wherever, they teach us, we take, until, guys, we come across this black thick book called the Bible, the Holy Bible, which is the book of the kingdom of heaven. And when you get inside and read it, you find that Jesus actually speaks about things that are hidden. He speaks about the kingdom of heaven. He speaks about daddy. He speaks about hell. He speaks about himself as God. Yet he hides himself because he puts himself in the flesh as if like he looks like us. And you sit and look at that and you're like, who on earth is going to believe the Bible? Who on earth is going to believe the Bible? And Jesus says the Father is pleased, and it's marvelous in the Father's eyes. And guys, you look at that and I sit sometimes and I'm like, Daddy, you are the one who's sabotaging yourself. That guy is the one who's sabotaging himself. He preaches things that are hidden. And the strange part is that he will reveal himself to your child, not to you. He doesn't care what you think. Guys, if you sit and say, God doesn't exist, the world was created by aliens, he doesn't care. He's not moved. Guys, when someone is not even moved by that, he doesn't care. But he will reveal himself to whomever he wants to reveal himself. And guys, as I've always said, as he revealed himself to those ones, to the elders, to the disciples, he still does today, because he is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. You understand? And he does it because he wants to keep this testimony of the word alive. So people must see that really Jesus is still alive, because the disciples were saying he's alive. So in every generation, he needs to reveal himself to show that really I am alive. Guys, he did speak to the disciples when he was about to go, when he was comforting them. He said, what, I am leaving the world, I'm going. The world will not see me, but you will see me, And the guys, he kept appearing to them, So it's the same thing. He still does. He hasn't changed, So just because he hasn't revealed himself to you, believe me, he has revealed himself to other people. It's just that when a person claims to have seen Jesus, you must first look at their walk, because it might be true, because he still does. Believe that. He still does, but you must look at their walk. John says, he who claims to know Jesus and disobeys his command is a liar. So you look at their walk. If they speak things that aren't in line with the word, then they are lying. When they love the word, guys, when they are worldly, when they keep sinning, you must know they are lying. They are simple running about telling people that they know Jesus, they've seen Jesus, because they want fame, because they want acknowledgement, they want whatever attention. But he still does. Why? Because Jesus needs to keep that testimony alive, that he's still alive, and he must make sure that people do still go to the ends of the world to preach his word. Do you understand? So he does it. Believe that. Nevertheless, guys, Jesus preached things that are hidden, So it's hard to believe it, guys. It's hard to believe it because here on earth, science rules. You understand? We are told about the rules of science, the laws of science. You know, they tell us about laws of gravity. You know, I don't care about those laws, you know, but there are laws of the spirit as well. You understand? And this is a world where only a remnant get to understand. Only a remnant get to experience. Only a remnant get to see. You understand? It's a very difficult world, but what I'm trying to say, guys, is that we popped up here on earth and we learned from our parents, we learned from whoever we learned from, and we took those things as right until we came across this book. You understand? So it's difficult to believe it. Now, I'm not speaking about that. What I'm speaking about is the fact that, you know, we were taught that it is God, you know, the Father who created the world. Hence, guys, people want to go straight to the Father. Hence, guys, people, you know, think that they have to deal with the Father. You know, God created the world. God did this, you know, and they're referring to the Father. You understand? And Jesus comes now and says, you're not getting it. I'm the one who created the world. You are not getting it. I'm the one. Meaning, Daddy gave birth to me, and then he made me create everything. That's why it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him, all things were made. Without him, nothing that was made that has been made. Guys, I don't know, guys. I love this revelation, guys. It's my favorite one. You understand? I love it so much, because it traces Jesus right there, guys, in the beginning. Guys, as I've always said, you know, if your history is traced from Peter Thief, your history is shaking. If your history is traced from Mahatma Gandhi, your history is shaking. If your history is actually traced from Shaka Zulu, your history is shaking. Guys, if your history is actually traced from Buddha, if Buddha is a statue or is a human being, I don't know, your history is actually shaking. Your history, guys, should be traced from Adam, who came from Jesus, who came from God. Simple. Meeting adjourned. Case closed. Case closed. You understand? Because you need to understand this. Guys, you need to get this revelation. When you understand it, guys, you actually treat Jesus in a way that you don't treat anyone. When he says jump, you ask how high. I don't know, guys, if you get this, because we tend to fear our parents. You know, we tend to fear our elders. We tend to fear people with money. We tend to fear our bosses. Yet we don't fear that dude. Why? The revelation of him you don't have. Once you get that revelation, guys, that's why, guys, I always pray, and I said, Daddy, the people who listen to this show, give them your revelation. My King, I said, my Lord, give them your revelation, because the revelation will help you. Guys, no one has ever obeyed Daddy or feared Daddy because they read the word. Churches are filled with people who don't fear him. Churches, guys, are filled with people who are no longer forgiven because they continued in sin. What am I saying? I'm saying that reading the word will not change you. That doesn't change you. What changes you is a revelation because of knowing who he is. And once you know who he is, you will know yourself better. You understand? Now, in short, here, guys, I'm simply speaking about the fact that we were not created by Daddy. The world was not created by Daddy. Remove that from your mind. Give Jesus the honor that he deserves. Guys, give honor to whom honor is due. Guys, give honor to whom honor is due. Give Jesus the honor he deserves. You know, he was telling the Israelites, I think it's the Gospel of John, the same gospel is, I think it's chapter 5, if I'm not mistaken, guys, I stand to be corrected. He was telling the hypocrite of his time, and he says to them, the Father wants you to honor me the same way you honor him. You understand? And guys, for Jesus to say that, I'm pretty sure it was hard. But for him to say that, it's because Daddy commanded him to say that. Because he says, everything I tell you, he told me to tell you. I only tell you the things that he tells me to tell you. You know, so Daddy wanted Jesus to actually say those words, to utter those words. You understand? He wants us to honor Jesus. That's why he brought Jesus here. And he was like, you know what? You are going down there, and I want them to honor you. If they don't honor me, I don't want them. If they don't honor you, I don't want them. You understand? And guys, here, because I'm actually finishing now, what I want to speak about, or ask, if you've really sat down and thought about, is why it wasn't Daddy who came down here on earth, but Jesus. Why it wasn't Daddy? I'll tell you guys, in short, I'll tell you, it couldn't have been Daddy who came down here on earth, because it wasn't Daddy who created us. It wasn't Daddy who created Adam. So it couldn't have been him who came down here on earth and gave us the blood. It's the person who created us. It wasn't his fault that Adam flanked. Adam actually disobeyed and flanked. Do you understand? It wasn't his fault, but because it was Jesus who created Adam, if people are now dead, and it's not their fault, guys, it's not my fault that I was born spiritually dead. It's not your fault either. That's why I always say, don't be offended when I say you are a sinner by default. Don't be offended. I'm not, because it wasn't my fault. You understand? But Jesus had to come down here because he is the one who created us. Daddy couldn't, because now if Daddy comes down here, he has to bypass Jesus. That just ain't gonna happen. Jesus says no one goes to the Father except by me. No one. And you often hear people saying that, I'm going to God this, and many don't want Jesus. And I sit and I'm like, it's your loss, to your demise anyway, because if Jesus is the one who created everything, meaning he created Adam, Paul actually says everything was created through him, for him, and by him. You understand? Meaning that if you don't want Jesus, you can't get to the Father, because the very person who brought you here is the one who must give you the blood. And guys, if I came from Adam, who died spiritually, and he died spiritually, I'm also going to be born dead spiritually, meaning no one will be able to give me the blood that is right in order for me to be alive again. So it's the man whom Adam came from. That's why it's Jesus who came down here. Guys, we need to get that. We need to give honor to whom honor is due. You understand? And I love what Jesus says in the Gospel of John 15, I think, or 10. He says that I'm a good shepherd because I came through the right door. Meaning, I came here on earth legally. Satan came down here on earth illegal, guys, because he jumped from the second heaven. Jesus was born. The only way to enter earth is to be born. That's why Jesus did not jump from heaven down here, because he could have done that. He's got the powers to do that. That's why when he's coming back, he's going to be standing there by the sky. You know, he can. But now he says, I'm a good shepherd because I came down here the legal way. Satan didn't. Satan actually climbed. You understand? He climbed. But Jesus, the door was open, meaning Daddy opened the door and he entered, meaning he was born. He was put in a woman's virgin. In a woman's womb, and he came down here on earth, meaning he came down here on earth legally. You understand? So he's able to give us this blood. If it was Daddy who actually created the world, Daddy would be the one and Jesus would be sitting there in heaven. I don't know, guys, if you understand. So we need to get rid of nonsense and fill our minds with the right information. Yes, we've been fed. Guys, whatever we learn here on earth is actually nonsense, because it's actually knowledge from the tree of good and evil that Adam ate from. Adam did not take the tree of life. So Jesus is the one who came down here with the knowledge of tree of life from the kingdom of heaven. You understand? So we need to learn. We need to correct. People don't want Jesus. This is one of the reasons, because they don't understand. And here he tells us, in the beginning was the Word was God, and everything came through him. You understand? So, guys, we need to correct everything. We keep repeating these things because rubbish has been repeated and it's filling our minds. Our minds are filled with rubbish because rubbish has been repeated. So, we're going to have to repeat good things, right things of the kingdom of heaven in order to fill our minds. Until next, guys.